Halloween is one of my favourite times of the year. Now, I'm not really big into dressing up that much, but I do use it as an excuse to play something a little bit eerie or disturbing. So, to celebrate this season of all things gory and horror-ish, let's dive into the PC classic, Phantasmagoria. What better way to celebrate Halloween than to play a game which is not only an F&B point and click, but also a psychological horror game? I can probably think of better ways actually, but let's play Phantasmagoria anyway. Phantasmagoria was released in 1995 by those geniuses at Sierra Online, and it was a project spearheaded by none other than Roberta Williams, the woman behind the King's Quest series. And so, right off the bat, I have high hopes. The stars are aligned in favour of this game so far. I mean, Roberta Williams goes on record as saying that Phantasmagoria is the game most representative of her game design career. Those are some fairly big boots to fill. I mean, this could be really damn good. So let's dive straight into the deep end and see what happens, shall we? Well, this is certainly a dramatic menu theme if I ever heard one. I like it. So starting off, we see a dude taking some pictures. He takes a picture of some creepy building and suddenly the camera shot goes all Blade Runner on us and takes us into the building itself.
Enhance 34 to 36.
Man, this intro is weird. There's like a portrait of a face, a beating heart, and a snake with a human head wearing a turban? I don't even know, man. I guess it makes sense though, as this is the nightmare of a young woman. But then it turns out to be a nightmare within another nightmare. Whoa, this is some heavy stuff. The woman, Adrian, wakes up next to her husband, Don, and he comforts her. Well, they seem like a nice couple and... Wait, are they? Ah! Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off! I suppose these two certainly have a close relationship. Although it seems to me like Dawn loves coffee more than anything else.
How about some coffee?
Yeah, big one.
And everything seems to be in order here. Things are going well for these two, except for the fact that they just moved into a creepy mansion previously owned by a now dead magician called Carno. I mean, that's just the perfect horror setup right there. If you move into a place like that, you're essentially begging for trouble. After Don goes off to work on his photography, we are left to explore this spooky mansion. Oh, joy of joys. And so that's what I did. This mansion may be creepy and all, but it's quite impressive, I must say. It's got 3 floors with many luxurious rooms and already installed furniture and decor. In reality, this house would be a pretty damn good find. Of course, this wouldn't be a point and click without pilfering every possible item. A matchbook? I'm having that. A hammer? That's mine for sure. A fire poker? Oh, you better believe that's going in my pockets. Somehow. The interface of this game is perhaps one of the coolest I've ever seen in a point and click. There are 3 segments of this interface, and they are your inventory, the item viewer, and this
spooky, scary skeleton,
who acts as an item identifier and a hint system. But just listen to his voice.
I am the official hint keeper. I watch your every move.
I thought the point of hints was to try and deter you from clicking on them, but I really want to hear that voice. He makes everyday objects sound like lost artifacts. It's amazing.
A book of matches, a fireplace poker, an old hammer.
Also, the item viewer is cool, but it's pretty much the same as the one in King's Quest VII. Well, apart from the fact that rotating an object is more like a helicopter rotor in this game, there isn't really a goal to this game's first chapter. You just explore the house. And as an environment, I really like this place. It's fairly nice. I'm not exactly convinced by the creepy fortune teller in the hall though. Evil will walk the earth once more, huh? Yeah, I believe that, sure, whatever. You go through more and more rooms of the house, but eventually you discover a chapel hidden behind some bricks. This chapel has a big creepy book and a small closed chest. So what's the sensible thing to do here? Is it A, to leave them alone, or is it B, to mess with them? Common sense dictates that we leave them alone, not to be touched. Ever. I mean, they must have been sealed away behind a wall for a good reason. But Adrian over here, oh, she just can't resist touching them, can she? And of course, some kind of evil spirit gets released. And the award for Dumbest Person 1995 goes to... Adrian Delaney. Yeah, she ain't exactly the brightest bulb in the box sometimes, I gotta say. But that's not my only problem with her. I mean, look at her idol stance. She looks like she's about to get shouted at by Ali Ermi. Furthermore, Adrian isn't talkative enough in my opinion. Most point-and-clicks pride themselves on having witty banter when you click on things. Most of the time, Adrian kinda just shrugs. It's completely unhelpful at times, as the response lines in other games would commonly act as a hint for what you need to do. Not to mention, it makes her character kinda flat. There isn't a whole lot to her. I can't really pick out a specific personality trait. Anyway, Adrian releases an evil spirit and here's a crash. It seems Don hit his head. Coincidence? Well, perhaps not, because the next day, he seems to be really hostile for no reason. I mean, he even asked Adrian to get him some drain cleaner. How terrible.
Did you go buy the drain cleaner like I asked you to?
What? Drain cleaner?
No, but seriously, something is really wrong with Don. As the chapters unfold, it becomes increasingly clear that something happened to Don when the green mist came out of the box. He suddenly becomes really violent and unreasonably harsh towards his wife, to a point which is honestly rather shocking, even to the player. So yeah, Adrian, you really messed up. Acting-wise, this game is cheesy.
Yeah, the screwdriver slipped. It's a damn drain.
Let me see.
Oh, I'm okay.
But it's not like cheesy acting actually bothers you guys. I mean, you are watching a video made by me, so I'd assume you have no qualms with cheese. Soon, Phantasmagoria introduces you to more characters such as Cyrus, the kinda dumb and strong yet gentle helper, Harriet, a woman who gets stuck in things,
Help! This hurts!
Malcolm, a very, very old man who used to live in the creepy house, and Mike. Mike repairs things. What a guy. It quickly becomes clear that the house might actually be haunted. People in the town of this place seem to pity Don and Adrian for buying this house, and so they should. This place is really starting to give me the willies. As you play through this game, you might start to notice things. Strange things. It starts with more subtle things, such as the bad dreams and things just not being right. Mirrors reflecting the wrong reflections or ghosts seeming to appear. But then you find secret rooms and passages, discover things you probably shouldn't know, see things you should never have seen. Items placed around the house start going missing and you find them in some odd places, and you witness some awful, awful visions. And by that I mean, you see death. And lots of it. And they're really graphic too. If you like gore, you'll like these. You morbid freak. But if you're a little more squeamish, then I recommend turning away, because these are a little black. They're all ghosts from this house's past, and we see Carno murder his wives in horrifically unique ways. But not all is as it seems. Apparently, Carno used to be a good man, but something changed in him. Something drove him to become a psychopath. A similar thing is happening to Don. And if we do a little bit of math here, take the 2, carry the 4, divide, we can arrive at the conclusion that bad things are going to happen. Eventually, we can find the whole story of the house and what exactly happened here. Without spoiling too much, Malcolm, the old guy from earlier, explains his perspective of the events. And he soon reveals that there was a demon living inside Carno. And now, this demon lives inside Don. That ain't good. Hey, Mike finished the repairs. What a guy. I hope to see Mike again soon. Oh no. Oh no, not Mike! Why did it have to be Mike? You'll be missed, Mike. You'll be missed. And then we reach our final chapter. And here, it's all going down. Don's gone full on crazy, there's no escape from the house, and Don wants Adrian dead. Up until this point, the game was just morbid, but now it's tense as hell. For me, this is where the true horror comes in. Don begins to chase Adrian, and she has to hide, fight, or die. This part is really quite scary. You gotta be quick or you're gonna be dead. And then... And I'm not going to spoil this any further. This game is just too intense to spoil. If you really want to know, go find out yourself, you lazy sod. Phantasmagoria is a strange game. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. As I said before, the acting is cheesier than a 4-cheese margarita pizza, with a side order of cheese strings. But is that necessarily a bad thing? I mean, it is essentially a horror B-movie in game form, and if you look at it in that way, it's actually quite enjoyable. As an adventure game though, it's somewhat iffy. The interface is lovely, but the puzzles are so simple. It's more just common sense than anything else. And to be honest, I think this game has more of a storytelling focus than a gameplay focus. And really, this game isn't hugely scary now. I imagine at the time it was fairly chilling, but it feels kind of fake and dated in its effects now. You really have to look at this game from the perspective of when it was released to get the most enjoyment out of it. But you know, there's something I really like about this game. I can't place my finger on what it is, honestly. I just rather like it. It's charming in its own way somehow. And because I've got nothing else to say, I'm just gonna make a montage of all this game's death scenes put to unfitting music. Be warned though, these death scenes are not only spoilery, but also very gruesome, so you might want to skip it. Or you might just feel black. Lovely. Anyway, happy Halloween. And don't eat too much candy. I'm serious, don't. It's gonna be bad for you. You can eat